Hello all, in this particular session we are going to learn what exactly is all about Jupyter Notebook. We are just going to go through with a quick summary of how exactly Jupyter Notebook works, why we will prefer Jupyter Notebook in our entire course and all these stuffs. So Jupyter Notebook and IPython Notebook are same. It used to be called IPython Notebook, but later on it becomes as Jupyter Notebook. So you will see Jupyter Notebook looks like a website, or you can say web page, as it is running in your browser. But this is not a website, and it is also not a static page, because you can modify it whenever you are just going to modify some code. Your visuals get modified as well. So Jupyter Notebook has basically three essential components. The very first is all about your live code. Let's say here, if I'm going to do some modification as let's say 10, and if I'm going to execute either using this run button, or you can use some shortcut, let's say Ctrl+Enter. Let me execute. You will see your output gets modified over there. Similarly, the second essential component of Jupyter Notebook is all about your visualization. As you will see over here, this is that visualization, and if you are going to play with your color parameter, let's say I just need my data points in red color, you can modify it, and if I'm going to execute, you will see this visual gets modified and my data is represented in the form of red dots. And you can definitely never get that type of visualizations in any other IDE, let's say in PyCharm, Spider, or whatever IDE you have ever used till now. And the third essential component is exactly all about your rich text for explanation. Let's say here you have to add some text, let's say data in the form of array. So you can say you can use this 3# and you can say here data is in the form of array. And what you can do, basically you can go ahead and select this as markdown, and you can basically execute it using Alt+Enter, and you will definitely see how interactive it looks over there. So definitely this Jupyter Notebook is extensively used whenever you have to explain something in a very interactive way. In a similar way, I can add some text, add some logos, add some headings, whatever we want according to whatever we have our needs. So if I have to explain this Jupyter Notebook, so that is all about, it's a web application that allows us to run our live code, fancy visualizations and explanatory text all in one place. And one more advantage of Jupyter Notebook, it gives us intermediate state of data. Let's say here we have over here in this X, whatever data we have in this X, and let me just print my data Y, and if I'm going to print it, you will see this is the entire data with respect to my Y, which is exactly in the form of array. Now what we are going to do, we are just going to say I just need a scatter plot by using basically this matplotlib alias. That's what I'm going to do over here. But if you are using some another IDE, let's say PyCharm or Spider or whatever else it will be, you will never get this intermediate state of data. So that's another advantage of using Jupyter Notebook. So let's have a quick comparison between this Jupyter Notebook and other IDEs of Python. Let's say, let me just assume, let's say Spider IDE, and if I'm going to open my Spider IDE, so this is a similar code what I have written over here in this Jupyter Notebook, and here you can clearly see how much interactive it looks like over here rather than writing in this Spider IDE. And if you are going to execute, let's say, this entire code of this Spider, so here what you have to do, here you have to just click on this run, go to this run cell, and you will see your output as this one, and you will never get your output as all these things like X and all these things. So if you have to visualize this X, what you have to do, you have to go to this variable explorer, and you will get all your stuff, what you have exactly in your data, what exactly you have in your X, what exactly you have in your Y. So that's basically a difference between your Jupyter Notebook and any other IDE of Python programming. So if you need more information about this Jupyter Notebook, what you can do, you can go to its official website of Jupyter Notebook, which is all about my jupyter.org, and you have to just go through with its official website, and here you will see all these stuffs over here. And so this Jupyter Notebook supports 40 programming languages such as R, Julia, Ruby, Scala, tons of programming language. So it is not just about Python programming. So Jupyter Notebook is highly used, extensively used IDE by lots of researchers, and even data scientists use this notebook in their day-to-day work. And even you can share this notebook on your GitHub repository, tons of places where you can share this notebook. So that's where you can share this notebook. So that's basically a main advantage of using Jupyter Notebook over another IDE. So I hope you will love this quick lesson of Jupyter Notebook IDE. So that's all about this session. Hope you love the session very much. Thank you. Have a nice day. Keep learning, keep growing, keep practicing.